class.
Joe, you're teaching 250 this semester?
Yeah.
And how many students do you have?
Who's asking?
No, I will not accept your paper as an attachment.
I just had a few questions for you. How many students are you teaching this semester?
I'm teaching 57 students.
As stated in our syllabus, I don't accept late assignments electronically.
Well, currently I'm down to 22. Started the semester with 26, but, well, I've gotten a couple to drop so far. Hopefully more after they see their midterms, you know. Less papers to check.
Also, I don't excuse absences just because a few minutes of snow fluffed down from the sky.
52. 52. You happy?
All right.
Get what you wanted?
You can trot across campus just as easily as anyone else.
You're teaching 250, is that right?
Yeah.
And how many students do you have in your 250 class?
26. Still.
Oh, they all stayed, huh?
I didn't have any drops this semester.
So you're teaching 250 this semester, right?
Yep, 2 sections.
2 sections. How many students is that?
Well, 46 before, the big drop coming up soon. I imagine I will lose a handful.
How much time does it take you to grade their papers?
How much time? Well, depends on what I'm doing well in grading the papers.
Joe, about how long does it take you to grade your students' papers when you get them?
Oh, I use an old method. It was written about it. This is the journal, College Composition and Communication, and it's a very, very big journal in our field. Well, my field. Who am I kidding, right?
Yeah.
What we do is that I take all the papers and I assign them a numerical value.
I would say I'm somewhere in the middle, depending on my mood.
Yeah.
So it's like, how much have I had to drink? Have I had anything else? Is it morning, night? I would say my grading tactics range from barely caring to vengeful.
It's not about social organization.
How long does it take you to grade that many papers?
First stinking ever.
First stinking ever.
First stinking ever. Yeah, I spend, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes on each paper, and it's like, it takes forever.
If I'm watching a movie, if I'm eating dinner, other recreational activities.
I organize them in terms of which basketball team is playing.
Oh.
Whoever wins, according to that numerical value, obviously.
I see, yeah.
Then that's the paper that ends up doing the best.
It does depend on the amount of effort the student has put into the work. So if I have a kid, say, who gives me like something 2 pages long, typed up in pink ink, 16-point font with curly cues, then I may be more likely to, imagine hitting that student with the roll-up paper across the bridge of the nose.
Yeah.
To rub their nose in it, like a dog who was messed on my floor.
Does it take you a while to grade all those papers when they turn an assignment?
Yes, because I'm very worried about the students feeling heard and accepted in the classroom.
So it can vary anywhere from 30 seconds to about 45 seconds, really. It depends on what else I'm doing. But, not that long.
What was the question?
You're grading. How long does it take?
My grading usually takes about 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to read each paper 8 to 10 times. Following that, I'll make comments, but I'll want to make sure that I'm being sensitive about their feelings.
I think if I don't care at all, it may be a minute. If I care a little bit, I may give it 5 minutes of time. If I really value the student's work, maybe 10 minutes. Or if I really want to hammer some kid, maybe I'll spend a half hour going through it and trying to think of the best kinds of, the best comments that will break down his emotion. It's like, what could I write that will drive this kid to suicide?
Okay. How many midterms do you think did you have to give this semester?
I don't believe in midterms.
Understandable. The thing about 80s,
I only had 2 midterms this semester, so
expensive.
they are.
The alligator sweater,
They're all keeping their heads above water, which there's usually a couple that I'm really worried about.
I have to give out any midterms. Yeah, I did. At 27.
When were midterms due?
How many midterms did you have to give this semester?
Well, I don't know. I lost count. At 13, I think. So, yeah, 13 kids getting C- or less, commonly an F.
Commonly an F.
Yeah. I mean, it's great because if those kids, drop out now, it's less that I have to deal with.
Do you think many of your students will get a C+ or lower at the end of the semester?
I mean, I've got a few that are borderline, but they're really doing well.
I see. And how many of your students do you think will get a C or lower when it's all said and done at the end of the semester?
Oh, well, I don't know. I think the English department would like us to give C-, D, even F to 75% of our kids. I would say that'll be about how it goes.
Well, the ones that don't turn in a little extra credit might.
And getting a C- or a C+ really tends to hurt your confidence, and confidence is the most important thing about college.
A few people will get C's, might have a handful of kids, probably, young women, get B's, B+. I don't know. I mean, maybe, like I have this one girl right now, she might get an A-.
I see. And what is she doing that's so outstanding?
Oh, she's showing up.
Yeah.
That's all I need from her.
Yeah, they're doing all right. When I see them, I don't always.
Yeah. Has attendance been a problem in your classes?
Yeah. I've had a really hard time showing up this semester.
Mm-hmm. Now, the ones that aren't doing so well, is that due to attendance problems at all?
Surprisingly, no. Surprisingly, I have no attendance problems yet.
And speaking of showing up, how much of the students' grade depends on their attendance? Like, how many of these D's and F's are going to be because of mostly attendance?
Well, I like to play it off real casual in class so that they think I'm not paying attention. But really, as soon as you hit 4, your grade starts sinking like a ship that's been, catching Nazi cannonballs all afternoon.
Is attendance a problem in your classes?
Attendance is not a problem in my classes.
Dear dumbass.
I tend to be very understanding about student absences because I wouldn't want anyone to feel angry or, upset. Because you never know. I once witnessed a knife fight.
No, not subtracting bus-related absences.
So I've never met them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Are you doing distance learning or?
In a way.
Okay.
I'm trying to distance myself from them.
And can't and won't extend the due date for the rhetorical analysis paper, regardless of what your friend in Mr. Judge's class told you.
I don't have a problem with it so far this semester, but
Whatever the reason.
so many times a student's grade is lower because they just don't show up to class. And then they email me after they get their grade and they're like, what's going on? I thought my work was better than this. I'm like, it was, but you weren't here to participate.
If you had come to our class at any point in the past 2 weeks, you would have received first-hand information, and I wouldn't have to be sitting here on my break typing this email.
Do you feel like the students take the class seriously? I get the impression no.
I think they take it seriously after they catch the midterm and start thinking about the possibility of having to take the course again in the future. Prior to that, they approach it, with the same sort of planning and sobriety that you may approach, a Friday night party.
Do most of your students seem to take the class seriously?
Yeah, they take it seriously enough. I mean, how seriously can you take a class like this, really?
Oh, yes. We're all very serious about respecting everyone's feelings and emotions in the climate of the class.
Do you think your students take the class pretty seriously?
So make sure.
I'd like to think so, but I overheard some talking about how this class really doesn't matter, so whatever.
On the first day of class, I'm like, hey, come on in here. We're going to have a talk, right? I have them sit down, and my man Johnny comes around, right?
Sure.
Yeah, baseball bat. Old-fashioned Louisville slug, you know what I'm saying? There ain't no cork in that bag, you know what I'm saying? You have ways of making him take it seriously.